Welcome to our weekly live training where we help runners, triathletes, and busy high achievers stay injury-free, train smart, and finish strong without burnout. We don't want that. We want to have fun, even if you're juggling work, life, and recovery. I'm Coach Shangri-La. I'm a two-time Triathlon Guinness World Record holder, 48-time Ironman finisher, Ultraman finisher, creator of Smart Training Method, keynote speaker, high-performance triathlon and endurance coach. We're here to share proven strategies that help athletes like you reach new levels of success without burnout. We also have here Coach Minetta, who's also taking care of technicalities with the YouTube.
Yes, we're trying out something new. We're streaming to YouTube, so
we're super excited.
Everything works.
It's gonna work. She specializes in swimming. All right, well, everyone, if you can hear us or hear us clearly, put under the comment, Coach, we hear you loud and clear. Put like that button there in YouTube. Invite your friends. This one is actually, you guys can just, go in, join. And yeah, so before we dive in, I wonder if you've ever wondered, how do I fit triathlon training into my already packed life? Anyone have ever thought about that? Because if you think about it, especially for those who are starting with just one sport, who here start with swimming? Put under the comment, swimming. How about running? I started with running. Started with 15 minutes on the treadmill. That's where I started. How about cycling? Which sport did you start before you got into triathlon? I'd be amazed if there's anyone here who actually started with triathlon. I'd be interested to know how it went for you, okay? Because for the most part, I've seen it's like, first one sport only, okay? Now, some athletes are like, Coach, I really want to do my first full marathon. Anyone here been doing 5K, 10K, and really thinking about, I want that full marathon. But then I also want this triathlon, okay? But then I also have my kids, and I also have my family. I also have my work. Oh, my friends too. I don't want to be a loner. Anyone here can relate to that? Like, I want all, but we only have 24 hours, okay? Can I train a big goal without neglecting my life or burning myself out? Questions like that, right? How about questions like, God, I only have one life. I want to live my life. Do I need to wait until my kids are grown up or until I retire when I'm in my 50s or 60s, right? Or should I just how can I do this one if I want this one? How can you build the confidence to take it to the next level, okay? Because that's what we're going to talk about today. You're going to meet someone who has lived those exact questions, who have asked those questions, who have found the answers and actually living the other side and experiencing. And she's going to share to you the strategies that she had done for herself that has worked for her. I'm going to share you right now what we're going to talk about. Here you go. Kristen here, single mom. She has finished sprint triathlons. Okay, sprint triathlons. She got two kids, full-time work, and she's been doing also, shorter distance, half marathon even. And then she said, like, Coach, I want to do a full marathon. Okay, and I also want to do a 70.3. Okay, and then when I was talking to her, I asked her, you're gonna do a 70.3 next year. Do you want to build your confidence this year? Okay.
Yeah. Why not do an Olympic?
Yeah. So I asked that question, and like, she hesitated. And we're going to ask her more, but guess what? She said, yes, if I can do it, why not? Let's do Olympic. And then you'll see that it actually got fast track because she got the confidence that she's looking for sooner than she had expected. All right. And in fact, here you go. Now, this one is only 7 weeks. Just imagine, because a lot of athletes would say, Coach, I don't think Olympic, that's long, that's longer than a half marathon. Next year, okay? For some athletes that I've talked, because I've talked a lot with a lot of our athletes, and just next week, the year is about to be done. But guess what? If you think about it, it's only August, September, October, November. You really have four months still. Whether you have an official race or not, you can also still do the distance yourself, right? But not only that, she finished Olympic. She continued to do sprint PR and even won in her age group and got a PR in half marathon.
That is amazing.
Now
I love that.
And not just that, there's a lot more. She also did her longest distance of 40 miles. She also did longest distance in swimming 2 miles. And think about that. She did not, the kids are still at home. They did not move out. She still has her job. Okay, she wasn't fired at all. She was able to balance it. And I'm sure you're wondering, how is that possible? She did not really need 40 miles. She did not even need 2 miles this year, but she got all this confidence okay, and stay injury free. Well, today, Kristen's going to share exactly what helped her manage training and life as a busy parent, the nutrition shifts that made a huge difference, and the body maintenance strategies that kept her strong and injury free. Okay, so if you're a busy parent wondering how to train for triathlon and marathon at the same time, how to finally nail your race nutrition, or just how to fit all in without burning out, this training is for you. All right, so put hashtag live below if you're listening live, or hashtag replay, or if you're listening to replay.
Let me say hi to the people I see that are joining in right now. I can see Fred, Linda, David, Susan.
Hey, Karen, hey, everyone. Robert.
Good to have you guys joining in.
All right. Well, we're going to welcome Kristen. Woo! Welcome, Kristen.
Yeah.
Tell us where you're calling from.
I'm in Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah.
East Coast. We haven't met Kristen, but we've been working and communicating a lot for about 7 weeks.
Yes.
It's like, it seems like longer.
Seems longer.
It does. It does.
You've done so much.
Yeah. I've been busy, but it's been a good busy.
Yeah. So, first of all, congratulations on this. You got your first Olympic triathlon. That was just last weekend. This was Hilly. Her time was 3 hours 21 with Hilly bike. And then also look at the time on the swim, the run even 1 hour there. And then also not just that, this was her sprint triathlon. She won her age group, 135 was her time. And then also we just started, but we incorporated something that she wasn't doing during her training. And she said, like, Coach, I felt great. My legs are feeling good. She got a PR with 204.
Yeah. Impressive. All kinds of secrets for you to share, I think.
Congratulations, Kristen. How did it feel for you when you were doing your Olympic distance? Because I know you've been wanting to do that before.
I was super nervous about the swim, as we had talked about. When I first got out there, it just took me a minute to kind of catch my bearings. And once I got into a rhythm, I felt really good out there and just kept going, kept swimming, just kept saying to myself, just keep swimming. And, I came out of the water and I wasn't as exhausted as I anticipated I would be. So I was excited about that. And then,
were you surprised about your time? Because your time was pretty good.
Yeah. I was surprised about my time.
19 minutes per 100 yards. And that was your, first official long swim.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely a PR for me for sure.
Backtrack. If we were to backtrack like 7 weeks before that, like what was happening with your swimming at the time?
Before you reach out to us.
Yeah. So, I mean, my swim was, I was doing the best that I could. I was trying to follow some like random online videos and just tips from people and stuff like that. But it was all generic. So when you have like a true plan that you guys work out with you and you give you the drills and you give you all that things, it definitely helped me in boosting my confidence for sure. And then also just feeling better in the water and doing better things, getting my breathing under control and just a lot of things like that with those drills and everything. At first I'm like, oh my gosh, what are these drills? And then I'm like, but what a difference they obviously made, in my swim. So it's just like in the moment you're like, ugh. But like when you see the after effects of it, you're like, oh, okay, this is why we do that.
Do more, right? More, even though it was harder at the beginning.
Yeah.
So like, I know you reached out to us for your first full marathon.
Yep.
Did you expect that I would suggest the Olympic? I know you were thinking about it.
Yeah.
You did not have a set, like, you're like, I'm thinking about it. So like, how did it feel when I actually suggested to you, like, hey, we should do the Olympic at the same time?
Yeah, I was a little nervous at first. And then the more that we started doing some of our trainings and stuff, I was like, I think she's right. I think I can do this. And so like we had talked about doing it actually more like September. Yeah. And I had already had a sprint scheduled for that Cleveland obviously in August. And I was like, nope, I'm like, I feel good. I think I can do this. I'm bumping up to the Olympic. And I'm really glad that I did because I surprised myself. So.
Yeah. So everyone, so for those, just to give you context, so she signed up for a sprint. And because during that 7 weeks, she got the confidence. I didn't even ask her. I mean, I know she could do it. But she's like, Coach, I want to bump it up to Olympic. I want it sooner than she didn't wait. Because a lot of athletes, one of their thing is that they don't have the confidence. So like what I wanted to ask you is that before we started, how were you training? Because like, let's see more of like, what is it that, how was your daily thing? Like, like I know you got kids, you got full-time job. How were you doing your training before?
Yeah. Well, I am part of a local triathlon club. So they would be posting just different exercises. Hey, we're doing this today. Hey, we're meeting for this group. We're doing this, which I do highly recommend is working with other people, especially in the swim and all that kind of stuff, having people there with you. It just makes it more fun and, all those things.
Friends.
Yeah, for sure. But they were just, again, just kind of, hey, random workouts, hey, random things we're doing here, hey, random things we're doing there, versus with you guys put me into a true like training plan. It's broken down for you. It tells you, intervals you want to do during your running, intervals you want to do during your biking, different swim drills, all those things that are a true plan, more correlated to me. Like, it's not just a generic plan. It was a plan, that we've built towards my goals, towards my things I want to do, that, it's just such a better, I guess, plan to have versus just trying to do things on your own.
Yeah. How does that made it easier or not easier in regards to like, like having you being busy already? It seems like for other individuals, they would say, well, how do you do that? You already have a triathlon club and then there's another thing. How about you share it?
Yeah. So, I mean, you just have to tweak your schedule a little bit. So, a lot of times my kids would have sports in the evening. So I make sure that I go to bed instead of scrolling on Facebook. Cause I mean, let's be real. We do that. We scroll on Facebook, we scroll on the different social medias. We do all those different things. I mean, you truly just have to set your mind to it that, hey, I'm going to bed a little bit earlier. I am going to get up earlier so that I can get my workout in, because you just have to follow through with it. If you really want it, you have to work for it, and it's not that it's not doable. You just have to tweak your life a little bit. And,
was it a hard adjustment for you? Like,
no, I mean, some days, yes. But, some days it's just with everything. Some days, some things are harder, and some days things go easier for you. Yeah. So, it's just what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah. Well, so Kristen didn't give up the triathlon club. Right. They're having a good time. So she has her triathlon club, and we still continue to give her workouts there. And she does the work whenever it fits, what they're doing there, so she can have fun. And at the same time, believe it or not, within that 7 weeks, she still went camping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not one time, 2 times.
Yep.
Like, we cannot let Kristen not have fun.
Yep. It's spending time with kids, with family, with friends. It's very important. I mean, this shouldn't stop you from
that. Now I want to ask you, Kristen. So now I know you went camping, right? How I'm sure, like right now it's summer. How did you do that? Because we know that you're on top of your training, So how did you do that then?
Yeah. So I just basically got up in the morning, went and did my, we did change things a little bit because I didn't have access to a pool. Yes. So we made sure that weekend we had more of a run bike plan, so that's the great thing was I can reach out to you guys and say, hey, this is coming up this weekend. This is what I have access to. And you guys can change the plan a little bit and tweak it again towards what I need to make sure that I can still reach my goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
now I know you mentioned about the targets, right, on the swim, bike, run. Let's just say on the running portion, because I know on the running is like you want to finish strong. It's your first full marathon. You're a hardcore. By the way, Kristen runs 8:15 minutes per mile. Badass. She's awesome. Yeah. And then so now when you were training before, I know you were training with the triathlon club, right? But then with your running, would you just run or just go by the pace of everyone or go hard? So how were you training before on your running?
Combo of all those things. I'd stay with a group sometimes. I would do my own thing sometimes. But I will tell you, the reason why I've gotten so fast is just learning the body maintenance things, doing the stretches before, taking 10, 15 seconds to stretch it out if you have to stop. Like, I always felt like, no, you don't want to stop. You have to run the whole time. You have to run the whole time. But, learning from you guys, it's okay to take 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds to stretch your body out, because in the long run, you end up running better and you end up, having a better time.
Yeah.
So that's been a huge piece for me.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up. So a lot of athletes actually come to us, hey, coach, I want a plan, right? But then, I told Kristen, if you want a plan, she wasn't asking for a plan, by the way, other athletes. If you want a plan, there's a lot of online plan there. Just get those, some of them are free. And I told Kristen or the other athletes, I said, this is what we do. And she mentioned the body maintenance. So I strongly suggest everyone for you guys to do this. Wherein you're addressing these 5 areas. I know I talked about this one in my post, in my trainings in the past as well, until right now. And even in the book here, basically on the book that you can get it for free chapters, I said, don't just focus on training, whether that's only marathon or triathlon, because I was doing that myself. I want a plan. Structure is good. Yes, right? But plan is not enough. And then also what you would like are realistic targets personalized to you, wherein you get pushed and you also balance it with recovery so you can consistently show up each time. But at the same time, what we have incorporated that Kristen wasn't doing was body maintenance. So here you go. So what we want here, and we're going to talk about the nutrition as well in a little bit. Hopefully I do this one correctly. So training is what everyone knows. I want a plan. I want training, whether that's swim, bike, or run, or just run only. Now they say, okay, well, I'm going to do a first full marathon. I heard people say I got to do cross train, right? We're going to talk about the cross train as well. So, but here she mentioned body maintenance, which is a game changer for her, especially on the run. She felt that she got faster. And in fact, you know, like when she did, hopefully I do this one correctly. When she did the half marathon, she PR'd. And one thing that two things that we actually added that in the first week, only 1 week.
Yeah.
She PR'd. And she like feeling amazing.
Yeah.
1 week of coaching was nutrition and body maintenance. All right. Now, I know Kristen mentioned stretches. Stretches are good, okay? But stretches are also not enough, okay? So on here, I mentioned that why, but I'm also going to make sure that I also share to you guys, body maintenance is basically being proactive, okay? So Kristen was being proactive. Before some things like can't move anymore, it doesn't go there. Or like, I'm done. I feel like I got hit by a truck, you know? So like for some people, if they feel that, it's mainly because we are being proactive. And how do you do that? Yes, stretches are great, but it's not enough. So let's add more, okay? What is it? Body maintenance is a proactive approach to keeping your body in optimal condition by addressing weak areas, preventing injuries, and ensuring effective recovery. For Kristen, based on the feedback that she had shared to us, and that's what we do. Kristen would reflect, share feedback. We'll check in with Kristen, and Kristen would say, actually, I remember you saying that it was your quads or your hip flexor, right? That gets so tight. Okay. Yeah. So now, you know, so what we've done is that we've incorporated body maintenance. And I know Kristen didn't even notice that we were doing that. So like, for example, the hip body maintenance for your glutes, okay, to get those were being added. So body maintenance is basically soft tissue care, mobility, work, strength, and stability exercise and functional movements. And these ones are only 10, 15 minutes. Okay.
And then I like that Kristen figured out very, very quickly that if she does it preventatively sooner, you only need a couple of seconds to take care of that area when it's tight and not pain yet. She takes care of it in the early stages, and then it doesn't bother her.
Do you do that often now, Kristen? Like it's a habit?
Yeah, so even during like my even during the Olympic, you know, there was probably about, 3 miles in, stopped, kind of stretched it out a little bit, and then on the back half I probably, a little sooner than that, maybe at like 2 miles. But yeah, I mean, it just taking that little bit just to stretch out your calves, to do those monster walks, to do those little things that you guys have me do sometimes for like my practice runs, incorporating that into the race was huge. I really do honestly feel that that's why when I finished the race, I didn't feel like I was dead. I felt like I still had energy. My last mile was an 8:53. So like I was doing negative splits on my run. That was my goal. And, I finished strong and I felt strong and I felt like I could have kept going. So it was like great to, complete that and not feel like, oh my gosh, I hit a wall, I'm going to die, So it was great to be able to have that feeling that, hey, I did this and I finished strong.
You were doing negative split after that hilly bike, and this was your first. And normally a lot of athletes, actually, including myself, who didn't know what I'm teaching right now, back in the days, I was walking. Anyone here, you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, everybody intends to do negative splits and they, go as if that's going to be the case. But then at some point, it just doesn't work out that way.
And because the training has to come in place, it has to come all together. And so now we had mentioned about the body maintenance. Anyone here, puts under the comment what's popping up about body maintenance. Some athletes do, like a lot of weightlifting, which is part of the body maintenance actually. Okay. And that's why I said here, strength and stability exercises. But just lifting weights without understanding your body, okay, where the weak areas, then it's good. But if you're so busy, we want to make sure that you put time to the most important thing, which is your weak area. Does that make sense, everyone? All right. So now,
I mean, also there's the key thing that that Kristen was saying, that I mean, addressing and actually taking care of something is different than just doing a strength exercise. You know,
Mhm.
like taking care of something and fixing the issue is
Mhm.
different than, you know, just doing an exercise.
Because we've had athletes actually who are bodybuilders who lift weights, and I myself, you know, I was meeting a personal trainer, but I didn't really understand my body. You know, I had muscle imbalance. One glute is stronger than the other, which cause compensation. So now my recommendation is, yes, definitely, you know, if you're doing running or triathlon, don't just focus on the swim, bike, and run, but do the additional. But you don't have to do a 1 hour, you know, body maintenance. Just 10, even 5 minutes or 2 seconds, like Kristen said, you know, do that. Okay. All right. So the next one that we're gonna go over is nutrition.
Yes.
I know that
you said it made a big difference for you. And
Yeah.
you kind of got it right away. You saw the difference.
Yeah.
before I know you finished a half marathon before, right? So
Mhm.
like, how
Yes.
are you doing your nutrition before or fueling?
Again, it was just kind of a generic kind of plan. Oh, you know, whereas, you know, just, oh, I'm going to throw in a gel here, I'm going to do that, you know, and not really have a true fueling plan. Again, you guys gave a full worksheet that you fill out and you break it all down. This is what I'm having for breakfast. These are the fluids I'm going to take in. This is my sodium, this is my potassium, this is my magnesium. You know, it's all broken down for you in a full out plan, which is you know, in the moment, it's like, man, this is, you know, logging it in, but it really does not take that long to log it in. And what a difference that makes to have a true broken down plan, to make sure that you're hitting your salt, to make sure you're hitting, you know, throwing, if you need, throwing a little bit of caffeine in there, all those things, but you know, that you're hitting all those points of the energy and the boosts that you need to get you through, you know, because 3 hours and 20 minutes is a long time to be out there doing exercise. So it's like, you have to have the fuel in the tank to get you through that, for sure.
It's funny because a lot of athletes, you know, underestimate it. I mean, if you think about it, Kristen, if let's just say, let's back, you know, like go back when you were finishing your first, second half marathon, right? Well, you're finishing it. You're not like, were you dying? Not yet.
No, but you know, I was
Yeah.
struggling a lot more than I do now.
Yeah, so you were finishing it, and then by the time you get the medal, well, I guess my nutrition there is not so bad. I could do it again. I could do it again, right? Until you realize that there's a better way.
Yes.
Till you realize, oh my God, I could actually feel amazing if I do this. And for some individuals, they're satisfied to just, I got the medal. I trained hard. But what if you can actually do a PR just with the 1 week that we just did?
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm sure everyone's curious about that. So the nutrition, let me just show just a tiny bit here. So this is a sheet that we help our athletes show step by step. And for some athletes, especially who are not so savvy, you know, some athletes that we've had in the past, like they're not so familiar, we walk them through step by step of how to do it. Kristen did a great job, actually. She did it fast. And so for her, so this one is her fueling. And that was, yeah, this was a half marathon back in when she did the half marathon. So there's the before, which is the breakfast, and then the run. And as she was saying earlier, it's broken down where in how much fluid prior, the calories, the carbs, the sodium, the potassium, and then it also calculates like, okay, what is the goal consumption per hour and actual consumption per hour? Now, you know, so for us, well, our goal is actually to dial in it each time. Okay. So for you guys, what I will suggest is that do not wait until, you know, like the race week. Okay. And instead, every time you do like 90 minutes or longer, so start being familiar of what you're taking in. And for some athletes, if you've ever had a bad, I don't know, bad run or swim, bike, and run, you know, during the day, you would want to try to figure out, well, what did I eat prior, and really dig into it. Because if you have not looked into it and go to your race, that could be a problem. Okay.
I mean, this sounds like a lot of numbers and a lot of things, and you're busy, obviously. Did this take a long time to figure out for you?
No, it was, and honestly, it's a very doable plan. The workouts are doable. The body maintenance is doable. You know, you make them quick, but you make them quick and efficient. So that's what, you know, that's what makes a huge difference. So, I mean, it's just, you know, yes, it takes a little bit of time, but again, you have to want to do it. You have to incorporate, you know, it into it a little bit. but it is manageable. Absolutely. I mean, my son graduated this year, so I had a graduation party and all those kind of things going on. Oh yeah. And then my daughter's in sports, so we had volleyball. So I mean, we have a lot of things going on. We were busy, but you, like I said earlier, you just have to kind of work it into your plan.
Yeah, yeah.
But it
Well,
is doable.
I'm going to show next about like the targets on the plan itself, because someone can be just working out as well, but if you don't have targets, you might just put in junk work, without getting a result. Because for Kristen, within just 7 weeks, we got the result on swim, bike, and run, and also got her endurance and also got her nutrition. But and this is what we tell our athletes, if you're busy and you only have 1 hour to work out, you might as well do it the right way.
Yeah.
Get really quality. Don't worry about the quantity. We'll put the quantity depending on your availability, but the quality, make the most out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that Kristen has been doing, I've done it myself. Vinetta are they're doing it, so we are very busy. And I know that we got to just like, what does the athlete really needs to do to get the most out of this 20 minutes to 1 hour? Right. So ask yourself, for those who's watching this in a replay or live right now, ask yourself, with what I'm doing right now, I know I'm very busy. What am I getting here? What am I learning here? Is it really contributing to the result? Or am I just making myself feel good, but not knowing or not sure whether it's actually contributing? Or the worst part, if you're not seeing the result, then something got to change, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now I want to show you guys. So like with Kristen, what we had done is that we had to make sure to do assessment first, where she's at with the swim, bike, and run. Okay. And here's an example. And so for some athletes, what they do is that they just run or run hard, with no targets. Okay. And I was there too, which is fine. You can get the fitness, but then right here. So here's just one of the workouts here. This is just a 1 hour workout. So here it says 8 by 3 minutes, and it exactly say the pace itself. Okay. Now, if I go to analyze this one, I can see that Kristen is doing her work. 8 by 3 minutes, she was hitting 8:29 minutes per mile continuously. And then us here, what we do is also we analyze, okay, did Kristen follow the workout? She taking easy? Maybe she's tired. And that's where we kind of adjust and communicate with Kristen, and then see where she's at. How's that helping out for you in like targets, Kristen? Like targets, like knowing what to do, how to do it.
Yeah, that's been huge too. Cause just, trying to throw together, even if you go on the internet and you find a plan and you're like, oh, I'm going to follow this, yours is so much more in depth and it's broken down for you. Like this is, you want to stay this many minutes at this pace. You want to stay this many minutes at this pace, let's do interval training, different stuff like that. So it has more, I guess, what's the word I want to use? It just has more to it in general. Just what's that?
Specificity.
Yeah. I mean, it's more specific and it's more, it's got a little more to it in general, just than a generic, hey, you want to run 10 miles today?
I had those too. And also like in the book, you pull the book, it says like, all right, I'll run 10 miles. But then the next thing is, how do you run? Guess what? She gets the result because she has targets. And this one, as you can see, I'm going to show you another one. She completed end of the month. And it's basically 9.68 miles. And here it's saying, hey, I need you to do 7 minutes of aerobic, 3 minutes of this. And she did that. And then we analyze it. I can see her pacing herself, pushing hard. And if I want to see, I want to see her heart rate, I can see her heart rate as well and how it's stabilizing across the workout. And also the cadence as well. Because with that, we can actually give feedback to Kristen. You did a great job on that, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Almost 10 miles. Because some athletes, they're like, all right, I'm going to run, steady zone 2, which is totally fine, everyone. So like we have easy workout for Kristen as well. But then those easy ones, we want her to focus on technique.
Mm-hmm. So maybe those who are not as techy and are seeing this for the first time, was it hard, all this tech that we're showing you, Kristen? Like, did you have to do any of the tech?
No, not really. I mean, once you figure out the training peaks, it's pretty easy. Once you get the app downloaded, everything's really easy to maneuver around in there, and easy to find what you need, and different videos to go watch. You guys are really good about sending the link, and you can click on the link and go right to it. So I mean, you guys make it so that it's easier than what it could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then maybe some of the people don't know that a lot of this connects to
Your watch.
the watch.
Yeah.
You have
Now, when I was doing it myself, I had to write it down. Or some of my older athletes like on their arms because they don't know the pace. But it's like I think after COVID, that's when it started. Like it's connected to your watch. Your watch tells you slow down, go fast.
Yep.
There you go. So like what we just talked about earlier is basically, you know, so like for triathlon, if you're going from whether you're skipping the sprint or you're doing a sprint, this one is what you want to do. We do this one for all our athletes, including Ironman or even ultra stuff. What we want is technique on all three sports, speed, knowing your targets, get your assessment first, see where you're at so that you know which, you know, like what are the zones wherein you need to run or bike or swim. Okay. The endurance, everyone, it's easy, you know, with endurance, you add either the time or the volume each week. You know, this one is pretty straightforward. But
and then this is where a lot of athletes fall into a trap of going after endurance only. Like if you're aiming just for the mile, so you're doing 3 miles, 6 miles, 12 miles, whatever, it ends up that you run out of time at one point. If this is only the only thing you're doing, it doesn't usually work for busy people.
Yes. Okay. So like once we're building up more with your full marathon, Kristen, you're gonna see like, oh, okay, where's my distance? We're gonna get the distance, but we gotta work with your schedule.
Yeah.
And this one has worked for everyone. And the main thing is because
honestly,
go ahead. You were gonna say something?
I just said I honestly like that better because you don't overthink it. So you don't, you know, you go out there, you follow the plan and you're like, hey, holy cow, I just did 10 miles, you know? No. And it is honestly, sometimes you know, it's a better thing because you don't get in your head so much. Oh my gosh, I have to go run 10 miles. No, you're running a certain amount of time and holy cow, look at that. You just ran 10 miles, you know, or 12 miles or whatever. But I do like that. I think that for some people, I think that's, you know, for me, it's just it makes it more enjoyable.
Yeah. And
how do they say that? That there was this expression. What is it? How do you eat a horse? One bite at a time or something?
Yeah. Yep.
And I think does it not get you more mentally stimulated? Because like, oh, I got to do this intervals.
Yes. Than just going out and, you know, being at a mundane run, it breaks it up a little bit. And honestly, it does help with that speed. I think that's why I've gotten faster between that. And, you know, I think the multi-sport training is good for your body too. So I feel like that's part of the reason why I've gotten faster too, you know, but definitely having those different intervals and different things that, hey, today you're going to have an easy run. But then, you know, in a day or two, you're going to have a challenging run, and that's okay. Because then you start to push yourself and then you start to get out of your comfort zone. And those are all things that are all around going to make you a better athlete or for whatever you're doing, whether you're running or triathlon or whatever.
You nailed it, Kristen, what you just said. Yes. You know, because if it's an easy, you got to really take it easy. And then for us, what we do is if it's easy, we add more technique there because you have time to actually think about your technique. So yeah, so if you guys want to just get a screenshot, and then also what we put here, you want to know the what, the why, and the how, and don't just be checking off the box without understanding what you're doing.
So what to do, why are you actually doing it, and then how should it be done?
Okay. If you guys want to know more about this, like I mentioned to you guys, I have the free chapters because I did talk about this 360 strategic training in this book. So free chapters, put under, you know, the comment smart training, and we can give you the link. And then I also talk about the body maintenance, all these 5 pillars. I have that in that book. All right. So I do have more questions. Everyone, are you guys getting a lot from this? Put under the comment any questions. Vinetta's going to read it actually right now, so we can make sure that we're able to.
I remember one thing you mentioned though, like before committing to the Olympic, I remember you said you were a little bit nervous or a little hesitant, like unsure. What were the specific concerns or things that were kind of like, I don't know, like what were those few things?
One, Erie, you never know what you're going to get at Lake Erie here in Ohio. Last year she was very angry and I was very thankful I was only doing the sprint. It was so much better, the water conditions this year. And I had a lot more practice with water conditions so that if it would have been angry, you know, it wouldn't have been as good of a swim, I'm sure, but you know, I still would have had better confidence with it because I did get more practice this year. But, you know, just the ability, I guess, to, you know, can I do that? Questioning myself, can I do that? And the more that I was with just people in your group and just talking with you both, heck yeah, I can do that. I can do that. So, you know, you guys definitely were a good motivator and a good, you know, making me think a little bit that, you know, you're better than you think that you are, and you can do that.
So you turn out from, can I really do that?
Uh-huh.
Heck yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
There's a transformation in just 7 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, Kristen, it's not just I don't think it's just a motivation. I do think it's because your body was already doing it during training,
Mm-hmm.
and you can feel it. So the action that you were doing is already, you're already in the implementation.
Yeah.
That helped a lot with the confidence. So it's a combination of all. So,
Yes.
all right. So now I'm going to ask you, I'm wondering, because I know you got your kids, how did your kids, react to seeing you accomplish this and seeing mom doing all this workout, being active? Had they
Yeah.
said anything?
Yeah, my son was he's like, Mom, that is really awesome. I'm proud of you. My daughter, she's at that age where she's 14, 15, she's just like, oh, okay, that's cool. But I don't think she understands like the level of what exactly all I did. Whereas I think he understood it a little bit better, and she's just like, things are too cool. I'm, whatever. But I think it's just the age. But yeah, my son was definitely, he was definitely said he was proud of me, and that was really awesome that I did that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been so nice.
How about your
it was.
How about your family or friends?
Yeah, I have a lot of my friends that are in my tri group,
Yeah.
they have seen how far I've come, and have said that they're really proud of me, and how much more I've done this year, and that kind of stuff. And family too, same thing. Yeah, my mom and dad the other day, they were like, I'm really proud of you. You are really putting in that work, and it's a really good feeling to have them say that to me, and just everybody being encouraging and helpful. And sometimes you have to be around some like-minded people. You're going to have some that are like, why do you do that? And it's like, because it's such a rush, that you cross that finish line. That's how I felt. I crossed that finish line, and I was like, wow, I did that, and I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm nervous, but I'm also excited for my marathon to cross that line and be like, wow, another feat. I did that. I turned 40 this year, and these were all goals that I had for my 40th years. The Olympic wasn't technically in there, but it got thrown in there. So
Milestone.
It's a bonus for this year.
It's a bonus. That's right.
And also it's a, stepping stone for your 70.3 next year.
Yep.
Pretty much better on that one. Well, for busy parents watching who doubt they can manage both triathlon and marathon, I want to know what's your biggest piece of advice? Maybe give us 2 or 3 of biggest piece of advice for parents, busy parents thinking, or even like for those who are doing like sprint, maybe, even just sprint is already hard for a lot.
Yeah. Well, definitely like planning things out, having a plan for the week, knowing, what you're going to do. And I know, like, for me, like figuring out meals and everything is always stressful too. So, Sunday I try to do some meal prep and have some things made up ahead of time, just so I can throw things together, make that a lot faster. So that's a big one too. And, definitely the having the plan and following the plan. If you, like I said earlier, if you got to go to bed a little bit earlier to get up earlier, you just adjust it how you need to for what you have going on in that week.
Okay, I think that's very, very good. How about those individuals who thinks that they have to let go of the fun stuff? They're worried about like, oh, that means I cannot have fun anymore. But I think you're having fun. You're still hanging out with your friends. You're still camping twice. What can you advise or say to those athletes or individuals who are wanting to do it, but they're afraid that they're gonna lose that fun, that it's gonna be so hard, or it's another work?
Yeah. Well, that's like even when we do with my triathlon club last night, we do Tuesday duathlons. So Tuesday night we do our bike, and then we do a run, and then we usually all go to dinner together afterwards. So it's like you make it a whole thing, and that's just how you kind of have to, incorporate that into, yes, hey, we did our training, but now we're going to go have some fun afterwards too. So
all right. Well,
it is doable. It is. It really is.
You're doing it. And actually everyone, it's not just Kristen who's the busy parent that we do have. We have several athletes, and it is doable. Definitely. Actually, the most number of kids of an athlete is actually 8 that we've had.
Wow.
And she's still with us. She's in Colorado. She's awesome. And yeah, she's having a great time. She's having a great time. So now, Kristen, during this training, we said 3 strategies. So that would be, actually, I put down here. Let me make sure. So these are the strategies that we had talked about so far. And tell me, Kristen, if I miss anything else. So 3 key strategies: structured and personalized workouts with targets, what, how, and why you're doing it. The next thing is nutrition, and then the body maintenance. Anything else, Kristen, that helped you, or what you learned during the training that really, like a game changer for you, that you were doing as much as before?
Those are definitely the big points, but with the body maintenance, just allowing myself to, hey, it's okay to take a minute if you need to, or a couple seconds just to stretch things out. And what a difference that has made, because I always had the mindset, like I said, you got to go, 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 go. You shouldn't stop. You need to run the whole time, that kind of stuff. But man, that little bit just to stretch things out, it honestly, it saves your legs in the end.
It's a mindset shift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's
Kristen,
definitely for the better. So
yeah. Well, you're still working out right after your Olympic. You just did a duathlon 2 days after your Olympic.
Yeah.
And some athletes, they need like a recovery a week, but hey, you're just playing.
Yep.
Well, Kristen, from all of us in Feisty Fox Coaching, we are so proud of you. You are the living proof of what's possible when you stop guessing. Yes. You follow a plan that works for your life and train smart, even while juggling your kids, your works, friends, all the activities, camping. Okay.
Yep.
Well, for everyone of you watching right now, the replay or live, if you've been inspired by Kristen's story, this is exactly what we do in Feisty Fox Coaching. We help busy, high-achieving athletes, the go-getters who wants to I really want the goal now. I want everything. And wants to stay injury-free, train smart, finish strong, no matter your schedule, age, or current confidence level. Ask yourself this, okay? What if you finally went all in on the version of yourself you know you're capable of becoming? And not wait any further? What if you're feeling not confidence and all you need is just to talk to another person who knows what needs to be done? And guess what? There's the light bulb. And you're just one step away, all right? Okay, so no more second guessing. No more wondering if you can fit it in, because you can, okay? And like what Kristen said, you'll be able to figure it out, plan it, okay? Have a smart plan, okay? No more hoping whether your body can keep it up.
And if you want help with creating a training plan that works for your life so you can finish strong without burning out, whether you're training for a marathon, a triathlon, or both, you can type #gameplan in the comments and I will message you personally.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. I know it went
absolutely
quick. It went quick. And thank you. Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you guys. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all. So
you are inspirational, Kristen.
Oh, thank you.
Keep it up. Can't wait for more.
Yeah. Me too. I'm looking forward to it.
Later, Kristen.
All right. See you later. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.